And then they started calling Helldivers 2 fascist. Exactly like I said they would. As I mentioned this in a couple of videos previously, that the first step that would come out of the progressive side when Helldivers 2 became popular was to first try to infiltrate it. We saw this in the Helldivers 2 bans politics video, where we had a look at an account called Helldivers Alert, which presented itself as an official account, but was in fact a fan account, which said, don't be a fascist, etc., beginning the slow push of beginning to move political ideas into Helldivers. However, the Helldivers developers then did something very clever. Realizing that their video game would now inevitably be used as an arena for political discourse, they simply said, let's not do that at all. Let us enforce 100% neutrality by simply banning the conversation completely. And that was the correct move, though there have been some potential breaks in that barrier. As we covered a couple days ago, one of the community managers mentioned that they were not, apparently, banning people for LGBTQ nonsense, etc. They were only banning the people on the opposite side of the spectrum. This has since not been commentated on, though there have been several rumors that a lot more people have been banned from their Discord as well. Now, I popped onto their Discord briefly. I did see some people arguing that the game was fascist, quite openly, usually with the flags in their bio, not being banned. And I did also see them apparently arguing with people who weren't on the server anymore, so that seems suspicious, but I'm not going to say anything categoric on that account, as I haven't really been able to see any confirmed instances so far of people being banned for their politics or arguing against their being politics, so grain of salt, etc. This, however, was the moment of weakness, because as I mentioned again, the mainstream media was itching to call Helldivers fascist. They were desperate to do it, but they couldn't do it right away, because the game was way too popular. If they did it, they would only be cutting away at their own support even earlier and even quicker than they already are. They needed a moment of weakness, and this was that moment. The moment this started kicking up, the same day this started appearing. Yeah, you're fascist in Helldivers 2, but it's also intentionally over the top that it's impossible not to smile. Helldivers 2 comedy comes from propaganda, that's why it's so fun. Wait, are we the baddies? Same day. Day thereafter, Helldivers 2 politics appear to be flying over the heads of some. Within practically a day, we saw 3 to 4 articles come out, all in essence saying, yeah, no, Helldivers is definitely fascist, but we're totally digging it, guys, which is the soft beginning entry point into essentially beginning to tar the company and the game with the label of fascist. Because here's what comes next. They were unsuccessful in infiltrating Helldivers 2 using soft power. And here's the thing. Progressivism cannot exist in a politically neutral state, because in a neutral state, progressivism, which is inherently racist and sexist, cannot exist in our current society. They require repressive tolerance to get anywhere. This is why they began with the vanguard demand of, hey, give us LGBTQ and trans capes. That vanguard demand was not met, and so it escalates. This is all just the slow grind of the mainstream gaming media beginning to move in on Helldivers 2, as we have seen them done to so many other titles. Now, if they were calling Super Earth fascist in and of itself, at least they would have an argument, but they're not. They're calling the game fascist. They're calling the fans who like it fascist by saying that they don't get that it's satire, etc. And again, if they were calling Super Earth fascist, they might at least have potentially an argument, as it sort of depends on the AI. In lore, the AI is said to receive a handful of answers from each individual person. From these answers, the AI then determines who you are supposed to be voting for by going through all of your interests and your needs, etc., and then cross-referencing that against the available candidates and going, okay, you should vote for this guy. If that system works like that, and it suggests the candidate that it would suit your personal requirements and beliefs best, then that is not fascism. If, however, the answer to every single set of questions is, what you require right now, sir, is a strong state, then you might have a reasonable argument for fascism. But amusingly enough, of course, is that this is actually a quite common talking point on the left. New research on Trump voters, they're not the sharpest tools in the box. To beat Trump, we need to know why Americans keep voting for him. Psychologists may have the answer. For years now, we've been essentially bombarded with the idea that if you vote for Trump, you simply just don't know what's good for you. You don't understand, you're dumb, you're low IQ, you're the basket of deplorables. Don't you get it? We know what's best for you. For this group of people, to criticize the idea of the super AI voting for you is deliciously ironic, in my opinion, as half of these people would probably throw themselves on the mercy of the AI within 5 seconds. And this, of course, also then gets led into this thing here. So Grumps was kind of on the forefront of this shitstorm, which is still developing at the moment, with no official statement from Arrowhead at the time of recording, where he simply says, protect Helldivers, keep it politically free. Now, this is also where this comes in, right? Some fans are clearly fascist because they don't get the fact that it's satire. And then also people going here, game is an obvious satire of fascism, misinformation in 2003 era American politics. It's so apolitical. Well, here's the thing. I need to do a video on everything is political. In fact, I think I'm going to try and do that this week, because everything is political is a favorite statement of the left, which is essentially used to either say that we need to get politics into this thing, or arguing that politics were always in this thing, and thus you shouldn't object to it. That's why you see the phrases like, Star Wars has always been political, Star Trek has always been political, or has always been woke, or some variation of it. What Grumps is saying here isn't that Helldivers doesn't have political elements. It does. It has in-world political elements. It satirizes real-world ideologies. The bugs are fascists, an absolute narcissistic hive mind, in essence, that marches to the beat of a centralized intelligence. It is everything within the state, where the state exists for the state's own purpose. Meanwhile, the robots are hardcore communist socialists, where, and here's the thing too, a lot of people have been sympathetic to the robots. In fact, I even believe one of these articles were talking about how the, oh yeah, I think it was this one. Yes. Super Earth used automaton slaves, and they're engaging in a fully justified revolt. The automatons kill people. The automatons carry out full-on genocides. The automatons decorate their bases with the torn-apart corpses of human beings. I think there's a point at which your supposed slave uprising, which is not exactly a precise description of events either, mind you, loses its moral legitimacy. And I think general issue dismemberment is probably round about that point, actually. What he is saying is, keep it free of modern-day politics. That is the point here. And anyone with 2 neurons to rub together understands that. But again, a great part of the left's tactic is repressive tolerance, and a part of that is extending every favor and every charity towards your own side, whilst withholding it absolutely against the opposition. Grumps is the opposition, and so a very clear statement that can only be read as keep modern-day politics out of it will instead be interpreted by chucklefuck like Joseph Stalinator down here. Thank you for that naming, by the way, just to hammer home my point yet further, in the most dishonest way imaginable and the least charitable way, as if he's saying, oh, there's no politics in the game. No, of course not. You can have in-game politics and have the game not be political. In fact, you can have real-world politics in the game and still have it not be political. Because pretty much everyone in Helldivers is in fact not a great guy. The Helldivers themselves have probably the moral superiority in that if the Terminator wins, Super Earth gets wiped out, humanity gets wiped out. If the automaton wins, Super Earth gets wiped out, humanity gets wiped out. If the Helldivers win, well, worst case scenario is slavery for the automatons, sucks, but it's not genocide, and being used as oil-breeding bugs for the Terminates, sucks, but it also is still not genocide. In the grand scheme of things, yeah, the Helldivers are the superior moral side in a giant war of mass conflict and mass extermination. Everything's relevant, huh? And again, this is the point of weakness. The moment this came out, and in fact, hours later this started bubbling around on the internet, the first one came out as IGN. That was the starting shot. Then everything else swiftly followed, as a lot of this was undoubtedly, I guarantee you, prepared long ahead of time. That's the only way you can get this many people talking about the same thing in perfect lockstep within a day of one another, especially as we also know that they all have each other's emails from the old Gamergate days. So yeah, they are coming for Helldivers, and now this'll be the real test of the game. I said this was going to happen. This is the moment when the siege begins. It is going to escalate quite a bit from here, and we will see if the Vanguard demands are met. I'm presuming that they will begin by simply saying, okay, well, you can make it clear that the game, you might be playing a little bit of fascist, but you can make it clear that you're not fascist, Arrowheads. Just add in some capes, add in a little bit of representation. Come on now, just a little bit, just the pinky finger, and we swear we won't ask for more. We'll see if Arrowhead are as Swedish as their company location suggests. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and good luck, Helldivers. You are going to need it.